All right. Baylor has announced, and a lot of schools have, their spring football game will be on April the 22nd. That also sets up pretty much everything else you need to know about the time they'll start their spring drills and much more. They'll have their green and gold game that came out April 22nd is coming up. Of course, that's 2 months from now, Baylor and their spring game. I really, the new coaches, some of the changes, the quarterback competition, players who have come and gone, a lot of players transferred, a lot of them have come in, will be very interesting to me. And we haven't really talked much about that, but it's almost time to do that too. Outside of the quarterback position, what is the most intriguing competition among the running backs or wide receivers, defensive backs? What is the one that maybe intrigues you the most?
Offensive line.
Well, yeah,
they're likely going to have 5 new starters, 4 if you count Gavin Byers coming back and playing, but they're going to have 4 or 5 new starters. And while I think the Baylor faithful should have faith in Eric Mateos to coach them up, and they've got the Barrington brothers as transfers, and they've got some experience of guys that should be ready to go behind them. That's still a lot of snaps that you've got to replace on the most critical position on the field. Offensive line to me is the most intriguing for Baylor. And maybe even more so than the quarterbacks, because I kind of have a figure in my head of how that's going to go. So
how's that?
I think it'll be pretty back and forth, and they're probably being about the same spot with either guy. I think they're equal talent-wise. Blake Shapen either has to take a step forward or he won't, or Sawyer Robertson's going to get his job. I know that there's some intrigue there, but it may not even matter if the guys in front of them can't keep people off them.
Yeah, it's pick a place. Really, they aren't exactly just, stout anywhere that you look. You expect a bump up from guys who are just a year older, but that's not a guarantee. So quarterback is probably the one that'll get the most attention, or it's not even probably, it'll definitely get the most attention. A lot of people putting a lot of faith in Sawyer Robertson to win that starting job, even though we haven't seen really anything of him at the college level. So that's all going off of, I think, disdain or dislike of Blake Shapen, or distrust of Blake Shapen's game. And also, what Sawyer Robertson can do on the film that people have seen. But I'm excited to see them actually out there side by side competing, because I don't think you just take for granted that Blake Shapen's played as much football as he's played in comparison to Sawyer Robertson. Now, maybe that doesn't make his ability to throw in the pocket any better, and Sawyer Robertson's better at that. Maybe Sawyer Robertson's equally as good about being able to throw on the run, although that's hard to imagine. Maybe one of them's just a tad better leader. I don't know. But I know that there's already people predicting Sawyer Robertson will take the job, and I just don't think Blake Shapen's going to go down without a fight. And I also don't think we'll probably even know anytime in the next few months, because I don't see what the point would be in naming a starting quarterback after spring ball.
Yeah, there won't be a decision like we've seen where last year they said, hey,
the loser goes and transfers. Basically is what that was, and we knew that going in, that whoever doesn't get the job is probably transferring. That's not going to be the case, you wouldn't think, here. And to avoid that, you probably don't do it, because if it is Sawyer Robertson, then there are chances that Blake Shapen goes and transfers, and then you're back in the exact same spot you were, and you're even less experienced. So they're going to have to be, smart about that, which to me would mean, you name the starter in August of, 2023 here in the next few months, and not in April of 2023 like you have done previously. So that one's going to be obviously the one that most people talk about. But O-line, new running back, Dominic Richardson, and also, is who else besides Quaylon Jones? And, obviously with Tay McWilliams, is he even back at this point? Richard Reese, that should be an interesting room. But you could go up and down the roster. I think they've got lots and lots of questions that they're going to have to answer. But O-line was probably, there near the top, and quarterback always will be.
All right, a couple